Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Squared Circle Maniacs Pro Wrestling Podcast. My name is Johnny Bottles. The man to my left is the doctor of hugonomics, Dr. Don Wayne, the neckbeard psychologist. Hug a neckbeard today. Take a neckbeard to lunch.
No. You do not want to have that funk on you all day.
You got to mend the fences, Don. You got to mend the fences. They're all in disarray. They're having meltdowns over the success of a wrestling company. And they're also over the denied failure of a wrestling company. And we're going to break it all down. Right after this word from our sponsor, Squared Circle Maniacs Pro Wrestling Podcast. Please, if you like what we doing here, you get a kick out of us just battling back and forth, bantering around with the chat, bantering around with our guests. Please give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a ring-a-ling on the ding-a-ling right down below. And the super chats are open.
Special shout out real quick to Media Boy UK. He did get us another subscriber from Beyond the Pond, so thank you for that. We appreciate you sharing our show. I really do appreciate it. But I do want to get into some wrestling as well, because there's a lot to cover.
So. It's a pro wrestling channel.
You watch
get into High from Tijuana.
Right. Just want to get into this right out the gate. Right. Saturday night's main event did 1.96 million people. Like 300,000 or 400,000 more than it did last time. it was way up there. And people are like, it's not a good number. Shut up, dork. Shut up.
I heard they all say no one watches that show, Don. They say no one watches it. I know a company that would get, I know a little man in Jacksonville that would give his left testicle to get a 1.9 million every
Let's
show.
break this down. No, let's break this down seriously. This is a non-recurring show that's a special that debuts every couple of months or every other month, however you want to put it. It's on a Saturday night. Most people, single or married, go out to dinner, do some things. They watch a movie, they do something else. They don't stay up and watch wrestling.
Did you know in TV land with Hollywood studios, production studios, and the networks, if they had a show that wasn't doing well and it was on its way out the door, or if they bought a failed pilot for a TV show from a production company, they would dump all that shit on Saturday nights because no one would be home to watch it. We got to run it, so we'll just put it on air so one of our good shows won't get a bad rating.
Yeah, they put up shit like Dateline at 10 o'clock when everybody's coming in from the evening. The people my age typically coming in from dinner, coming out from a night out. Let's watch some people get hacked in pieces on Dateline. Let's see what happens.
This episode about the guy who came home drunk with his wife and he got tired of her shit and he killed her.
Yeah, I mean, it's some dark shit on there. But I'm just saying, This is not your typical every week. This isn't Friday Night SmackDown. No. Those days are over. This is a special. Right. This is the one thing I took away from this is John Cena is a recognizable name to wrestling fans and casual viewers across the country. And when they heard he was going to be there, they tuned in. We don't even have the Peacock numbers. I would be wagering to guess those were probably 300,000 or 400,000 strong. I really would. That would be my guess because that's what they've typically been at.
And he faced someone he never faced before.
Right. And it wasn't a huge main event. You know what I mean? He was facing R-Truth. Let's just cut to it now. You knew he was going to beat R-Truth. You knew it was going to happen. Mm-hmm. And he did. Plain and simple. And he cheated to get it over with. R-Truth was super over, though. Using the John Cena moves, the 5-knuckle shuffle. I was popping. It was so good, man.
Shirt. Ron Cena.
Yes.
Oh, my God in heaven. But, Don, that's a match that you can look at on paper and know what's going to happen. John Cena's going to beat him, of course. But the afterbirth, as a certain other podcaster would say, what goes on after the match was more important than the match itself. Wouldn't you agree?
Go ahead.
I'm just saying.
I'll let you get into it. Talk about
it. The whole Cena and Logan Paul thing tying in with Cody and Jey Uso. It was rumored to be Travis Scott and Logan Paul and John Cena in a trios match, a 6-man match versus Cody and both of the Usos. That's fallen by the wayside now because Travis Scott sort of said, "Yeah, I want to be a wrestler, but you guys get hurt a lot. I got something I got to do." So he won't be on that show. Money in the Bank, by the way. That's where it's supposed to be happening. Isn't it? Still Money in the Bank? Okay.
I believe so. So anyway, that happened. It was a good match. I enjoyed it. Zelina Vega and Chelsea Green. And I want to talk about this real quick.
I think that was a miscommunication on their parts.
Dude, I don't give a shit if it was a miscommunication or she jump-started her battery on her nipples. That was awful looking. When she hit those ropes, that was the worst looking thing I've ever seen her try to perform. I'm not a fan of Zelina Vega. I don't think she's a great wrestler. I'm sorry. I don't see what the hype is around her. She's little. She's smaller than Liv Morgan, for God's sake.
4'11",
and she has about a third of the talent.
4'11", and she's, well, the argument to be made with her, she's a sassy little Latina, and she hasn't been given her due on the main roster. Not a lot of reps wrestling on the main roster. That's what they say. Mostly a valet for the LWO.
You know what that move was that she was trying to do? They're not calling it the 369 anymore. No, they're not calling it 619. They're calling it the 411. Get this bitch some help.
The 911, you should say.
No, 4-1. Get her help.
That's information.
She needs some information on how to wrestle because she ain't got it.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
And she broke her nose. She broke Chelsea Green's nose,
There's a lot of that going around with women in wrestling nowadays.
It really is, which tells me one thing. Most of them shouldn't be in the ring. Most of them should be on camera, seen, heard, but never wrestled. That's what I'm starting to see more and more.
The high point, and for all you gooner neckbeards out there, I'm sorry. The high point of Zelina Vega's career was when she debuted alongside of Andrade in NXT, and she was Andrade's manager. She was his mouthpiece. She was the Marlena to his Continental Goldust, if you will, without the gay component of it, of course. But, she was the woman on the
androgynous.
outside.
They say it's androgynous, not gay.
Is that what they say?
That's what they say. He was androgynous.
Yeah. Back when I went to school, that was gay. Now it can't get gay enough. Let's make it gayer and put a chick in it.
Dude wanted to put implants in his breast, in his chest from the
Goldust did.
Crazy.
Yes.
And today, I don't know if you saw this or not, since we're on the topic of Goldust, he went on a rant on Twitter today, calling himself an absolute legend. Just losing his shit on Twitter. I don't know if the Cody Rhodes factor is getting to him and the fact that his little brother is a bigger star than he's ever been or what it is. But dude, look, hold on, let me finish.
Go ahead.
I've enjoyed your career. You've been fun to watch at times. Your biggest run was an androgynous dude with a gold mask. You had mid-card titles. You were never a world champion. You've wrestled a really long time because you found a money mark that would pay you. You're right. I'm sorry. He's not a legend. He's a really good wrestler that wrestled a really long time.
He's getting paid a ton of money to do virtually nothing by a money mark, and he's tired of people asking him, "Hey man, when are you going back with your brother Cody Rhodes? When are you going to team up with Cody again? When are you going back to Cody?" He's getting tired of hearing all that. So this was him lashing out. I'm sure he went to an autograph signing somewhere over the weekend, and they
somebody said, Cody, what do you think of Cody?
And you know what? The guy, here's the example with AEW, as all loops around to this because he's in AEW. You can not co-main, but third from the top on a pay-per-view. You're third from the top on a pay-per-view. Third from down from the main. And 15 matches, the 9-10 hours long. You're third from the top on a pay-per-view. Wrestling for the AEW tag team belts. You're the ROH tag team champion. And the next week you're gone. You're just not on TV.
Gone. You're totally gone from TV this week. No one gives a shit.
Totally gone. And he's not the only one.
So I just want to bring that since we were talking about it. Zelina Vega match. She retains. Don't know why. Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. I hope this is the last time around the park. This has to be the last time. This was a brutal match. They beat the shit out of each other. I like Drew McIntyre. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why he's on this losing streak. I would prefer to see this guy start getting some wins under his belt. We'll see where it goes. I don't know what else to say about that. The tag team match that got everybody's attention was Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Sami Zayn, and CM Punk. And I swear to God, Bottles, I don't know if you're hearing me or not. Every time CM Punk is coming out right now with that music, the roof is coming off the building in every town he's at. The fans are absolutely 100% behind this guy again. You've got to pull the trigger on him doing something now. You have to. Don't wait too long till the fuse gets wet. You've got the dynamite in your hand now. Do something with it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You got to. And he's not a part-timer. He's a full-timer. CM Punk.
Yeah.
So he's always
there.
He's
just not wrestling every show.
Right. Can't be hurt. I don't know. Maybe he's a little fragile, and they want to, make sure for the big shows he can wrestle. He won't get hurt.
Are you going for the fragile Phil mess here?
Yes. Fragile.
Well, here's the thing, Bottles, though. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You don't need to have your biggest stars wrestle every week. That's what makes them legitimate, huge stars, so that when they do have a match, it matters that much more. You pop a rating, as they say. What are you doing over there?
What's that?
What are you doing?
Just trading stocks, Don. That's all. Just trading some stocks while we're doing this show. I'm just joking, Don. I'm looking up stuff with Lon to talk about.
I've got some stuff. Don't worry about it.
All right, pal.
I've got it. The other part about this match that really got everybody's attention was the return of who? Bronson Reed.
Bronson Reed.
A lot of people have an issue. So here's the thing. A lot of people have an issue with this. They're like, oh my God, didn't they just have a feud? And I get that. I understand where you're coming from with that.
Sense. It doesn't make sense.
Hold on. Here's my thing. In the history of wrestling, it's happened time and time again. The guy that turns face or turns heel, after fighting a big heel, they suddenly align and he says, I see why we had a problem now. I understand your side of this whole thing. You were right. I was wrong. And that's sort of, now they haven't explained it yet, but I sort of get that vibe out of this.
It sounded a little like Harley Race. Going over
Not yet. Not yet. I'll burn the goddamn ring to the ground.
I'll pull out my snub nose 38 and stick it in your mouth.
Easy.
What are you telling me easy for? Stick it in your mouth. That's
easy.
Nice.
I don't mind it. It doesn't bother me.
He could have went to SmackDown, even though he's a Raw talent. They play fast and loose with the rosters anyway. He should have went back to the Solo and Jacob, back with the Bloodline kick, back on SmackDown, and they should have debuted Jeff Cobb, or should I say J.C. Mateo, Jeff Cobb Mateo, whatever, on Raw to be the third guy, which it would have been good for not having any past history with the other guys in the group. But Paul Heyman could say, hey, I got some friends in MMA. You know who I'm talking about. And they turned me on to J.C. Mateo.
Here's my question. Which one is the bigger draw if you're going to be doing this from a stable standpoint?
Is Bronson Reed a draw?
There you go. Okay. He's on fire right now. Are you going to tell me he's not on fire before he got hurt? He was having huge banger matches. He beat the shit out of Big Braun Strowman. The car angle is still on my mind. He splashed Seth Rollins to death. He came off the cage. The guy was on the hottest run he's ever been on.
Dude, he was gone for 5 months, almost 6 months, and no one said, well, what when Bronson Reed's coming back? I don't like that fella. I don't like that Reed fella, that big guy.
This is your bias coming through.
He's the world's smallest giant, Bronson Reed.
He's not.
He's the same height
tall, I'll give you that.
He's the same height as Seth Rollins, but they paid him to be some sort of Godzilla, a monster among men, who they had.
Thank you all for watching. Please like, subscribe, hit that notifications button. The super chat's open. You got something to say, let us know. Jey Uso defeated Logan Paul, and this is when it got interesting because Cena was getting involved, and then Cody Rhodes came out, and made the save, which was I didn't realize. I don't know if I like Cody Rhodes coming back this soon because I don't know where you're going to catapult this moving forward. I think it's too soon for a Cody Cena rematch. I think you've got to save that for SummerSlam. Give him some gauntlets to get through. I wish they would give Cena an entire stable of heels to run through. We talked about this earlier.
Yes.
My idea was bring some of the guys from NXT that are ready to get called up and make that his stable. I am leaving this business, and they're going to help me ruin it.
When Don's on his way home from work, he gets these epiphanies sometimes when he's driving home, and we fantasy book while I'm driving around and he's driving around. We fantasy book how we would book. We ought to do a show, how to book WWE. Just where it's a half-hour show. This was a good idea, I thought.
Yes. You call up the guys at NXT that we've been saying for weeks and months that are ready to come up. The guys like Trick Williams. Bring them up, put them in the stable. You call it something unique. I don't know what you call it. The Rowdy Boys, or I don't give a shit, the Downfall. I don't care what you call it. They'll come up with their own name. And that's how you get to Cody. He's got to go through all of them to get to Cena. That's a great one. I like that one.
Because his fans, when he was a rapper, when he started Cena, he called his fans the Chain Gang.
I like that. That's a great one.
Yeah. But Trick Willie, he's got too much face potential, even though he's a tweener right now. He's got too much face potential. I wouldn't put him with a heel. But you know what? We're assuming right now that the course, the trajectory of John Cena's last run, he's going to have that title to the end of the year. And I don't think he will. He doesn't need to have the title to the end of the year. He could drop that belt back to Cody Rhodes or somebody. I'll tell you who should be the man to take the belt off of John Cena.
Okay, go ahead.
His name is Roman Reigns.
It would make sense, but here's the problem. I'm glad you brought this up. Roman Reigns might be fucking out of here, pal.
Oh, he's 40 might be and he got to deal with Hollywood, yes.
Well, hold on, because there's a rumor floating around about his next job.
Yes.
Did you hear about it?
The Street Fighter movie.
Yes, he is rumored to be one of the main characters in the upcoming production of the Street Fighter. And if that happens, I mean, he's out the door, man. Like, this is the Rock's trajectory, right? It was a little bit rolls here and there, a little bit here and there, and then they got to see him on screen. The people are like, oh, shit, who's this guy? He's amazing. And it was off and running from there. And that's the same trajectory he's on right now. People keep looking at him and go, why can't he be the new Aquaman if they don't reboot that shit? Makes sense to me. He fits the bill.
Could be. You hear who else is trying to get into that Street Fighter movie?
I heard Mercedes Moné, I thought.
Monet?
Was that right? That's what I heard.
Yeah, she's going to be Hairline. That's going to be her character's name in Street Fighter. Hairline. Hairlina.
Yeah.
No,
I thought it was Wigosaurus Rex.
Wigosaurus Rex. With the short arms and the wigs.
Yes.
Bronson.
What's my hooker dance?
Braun Strowman is
oh, that's right. Yes.
He's trying
the big Russian, right?
Yes, he's auditioning for that, by the way, for that part. They're still casting it, but he's auditioning. And there's another wrestler from he's not WWE. He's not AEW. There's another wrestler who's up for a part in that movie. Eventually, they're going to get the big muscle-bound guys. Yes.
Yeah, but I was going to say, it makes sense. It also makes sense that they're going to get wrestlers for some of these parts because it's going to be a physical part. And they're going to have to, quote-unquote, take bumps. And the studio doesn't want to get sued if some guy breaks his damn ribs or some shit like that. It's going to be one of those deals where you're going to see him in live action like The Rock used to do all his stunts. Those days are long gone, but the guy used to do his stunts.
Yes.
You know what I'm looking forward to the most about seeing this new Street Fighter movie?
Vince McMahon as M. Bison?
No. The first time Ryu goes, oh, you can stroke it. That's going to be my shit. I can't wait to see how they get this performed. That's got to happen. That's his famous lines. That's what happened. Sorry for getting on a video game tangent, but I saw that. I got excited about it. So there was a bit of bad news this week, though.
Speaking of video games, let me say one more thing. Have you seen the trailer for Marvel 1941?
No.
You haven't seen that?
Nope.
It's Captain America, the Black Panther's grandfather, a Black Widow. I don't know if it's the Black Widow, but a Black Widow fighting against the Nazis in Germany in 1941.
Okay. And then Ryu came in and said, oh, you could. And threw a fireball at Hitler. And the whole fucking thing.
That was it. He burned up Hitler. And the movie.
That was it.
Yes.
So, yeah. But the bad news is, and I want to be serious for a minute, Rick Derringer passed away this week. Icon. I mean, look, say what you want to say about Rick Derringer. He did have an actual hit of a song in the 70s. He made the theme song for Hulk Hogan, Real American. You can hate Hogan all you want. I know a lot of people think he's a piece of shit. I get it. The guy lies through his teeth all the time. He's scum of the earth. I honestly think he's taking too many chair shots, but this guy made one of the greatest theme songs in the history of wrestling.
Yes, he did. What a song. What a tune. What a tune that was. Real American by Rick Derringer. I'm surprised Hogan didn't come out in a press release or a video or just an Instagram video talking about how his good friend Rick Derringer has passed on.
Well, he did.
I'm surprised about that. You know that song Hang On Sloopy by the McCoys?
Yes.
That was Rick Derringer singing that playing lead guitar when he was like 16 years old. And then he
well,
went
Hogan
on to
said that for his song, he actually played bass. He came out and said that this week. He was the bass player.
Come on, man.
He said he played bass. In one evening, he did the whole record.
And then he went on tour with Metallica.
No.
I'll tell you right now,
flew to
brother.
Japan.
Rick Derringer was a member of Edgar Winter's
3.
group, and when he quit, I stepped in and played the bass.
He said he flew to Japan and wrestled in 3 continents on the same day.
Yes, he did. No, Derringer was a member of Edgar Winter group. That song Frankenstein, Free Ride. He played guitar and all that. And then he had his own hit with Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo, which was all over the radio in the 70s.
All over, yes.
All over. You would drive down the road in 74, 75 and blast that song out of your car. I know I did.
But I want to give a quick shout out to Rick. He's a icon for that one song alone.
Yes.
He did a few other songs. I think he might have done Demolition as well. I don't recall. But I want to give him a quick shout out.
Did a lot with Cyndi Lauper, Don. He played with a lot of her albums.
I'm sure he did. I did want to talk about some shit that also happened on Raw. First, before we get some more news, I want you to give me what you saw from the AEW pay-per-view, because I didn't watch it, but here's what I saw. Usually when the AEW pay-per-view meets the neckbeards or the sickos level of hype, they're tweeting about it nonstop. They're all over social media. They can't shut up about it. They're slobbing somebody, or this was amazing. This is a 5-star banger. I'm lubed up and ready to go, Earl. It's some shit like that I don't know what's going on, but it's not about wrestling. No. I did not see.
It's not about wrestling. The children of the tarps.
I did not see anybody losing their shit over this pay-per-view models. No one was getting hyped about the AEW pay-per-view. The one clip that I saw over and over again was, again, we had a song moment that in the middle of everything, Finger Guns comes out and says, we're going to play an old song.
That wasn't in the middle. That was at the very beginning.
Whatever.
Out, and he said, play a 90s alternative rock for the late 90s. We're going to play, what was it?
Bodies hit the floor.
Drowning Pool. Let the bodies hit the floor. Good.
And then I saw the clip and shit started flying everywhere. That's all I really saw. Nothing about this. No one tweeted about this, Bottles. You watched it. I mean, nothing surprising happened. The main event was a little bit of a surprise, but it could have gone either way with Hangman winning. I just didn't see anything. There was no reason to buy this. You had an idea of where everything was going anyway. There were no shocks.
It just goes to show you that you can main event. You could be co-main eventing an AEW pay-per-view 1 month. I'm looking at you, Megan Bain. And then the next month, you're on the pre-show, jerking a curtain on the pre-show. And that was horrendous. That just goes to show you how much he thinks about her, about Megan Bain. Oh, but she was on Dynamite the other night. Of course she was. Of course she was. It had a lot of moving parts there. He wanted some women beat up. So anyway, we'll get into that later.
I got a lot to say about that shit from last night. 636,000 people, by the way, and they still haven't released NXT's ratings.
626. 626.
No,
NXT probably blew them all away. Are you sure it was 626?
AEW was 636. Trust me.
Okay. I was just going by AEW disciplinary committee. I have to go back and look at that. I hope
there's been a correction.
Quarters are up. I hope the quarter hours are up. But it's just, it was too long. The Anarchy in the Arena was just too long. It was everything you think it is. I didn't stay for the end of that.
Jumping off of ladders and shit, jumping off of balconies.
Didn't stay for the end of that because when the whole thing began, I saw the plumber have Powerhouse Hobbs up against the backboard, the barricade, and he's carving Powerhouse Hobbs' forehead up. And I said, and they kept cutting back to it. He's still got like one of his back cutting his forehead up. And then they Christ, I'm so excited to pull my earbuds out. Look at that shit. I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Oh boy.
Yes, they cut back to it again 10 minutes later. He's still cutting up Powerhouse Hobbs' head up. And I'm going, I think he just enjoys this, cutting himself up, cutting other people up. He just enjoys it.
Jam, dude. This is his jam.
And it was everything you thought it was. And I turned it off and said, this is really, really unfortunate. Really terrible. But it was just, it was everything you thought it would be. They opened the show formally at the 8 o'clock hour with Monet versus Hayter. And it went just like you thought it would be. They each got a couple stiff shots at each other, and she won by the skin of her teeth, and she ran like a mental patient up the ramp. Up the ramp. She ran like she was running away from P. Diddy at one of his parties when he got a little too handsy.
I got the lube.
She ran up the ramp and collapsed at the pedestal of the Owen Hart Cup for the women, and was like having a faux orgasm over the Owen Hart Trophy. How that's her right, that's her birthright. That's what she's made for this. This was her destiny. All this thing she was mumbling to the camera microphone thing, but it's just horrible, horrible, horrible. And then she's going to face Tony Storm.
We're going to get there. And yes, she is going to face Tony Storm. We're going to talk about some of that. Yes. So I just want to let you give everybody a quick rundown on that pay-per-view. I didn't see a lot about it. So it is what it is.
It went, every match went the way you thought it would be. And why was everybody, even Meltzer was complaining. Even Alvarez was complaining. No, Meltzer wasn't really complaining.
Meltzer's never going to complain. He's never going to complain.
In Southern California, back in the 80s, he would watch New Japan and All Japan pay-per-view.
Here we go, yes. Talking about his Tokyo Dome days.
He would sit up until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And that's what he would do. And go to bed then. Of course, his job was the Wrestling Observer newsletter, writing that. No internet back in those days. It was strictly on
here's
paper.
The thing,
and that's what it was job. He could start that anytime he wanted to.
But you're going down this alley. So the rumor coming out of all the backstage hands, if you will, is the pay-per-views are too fucking long.
Right.
They've got to stop these 5.5 hour fucking marathons. They've got to knock them off. It's out of control at this point in time. No one has 5.5 hours to sit through a wrestling show. Look. Dude, if a football game goes into overtime, chances are I got some shit to do. I got to listen to it on the radio. I don't have time to watch another hour and a half, 4 hours of it.
Hour and a half.
5 hours is just too long, man.
Hour and a half added on to that for the media scrum.
Yeah, it never ends, man. It's like, bro, what are we doing with these shows that long?
The pre-show was horrible. I wouldn't even do a pre-show anymore. It was just horrible. Who's it for? Who's it for? Are you trying to get people to buy your shitty pay-per-view by putting on a shitty pre-show? It's a shitty pre-show.
They think that's going to grab the fans.
Renee Baguette and RJ Shitty is there.
Yeah.
And
one person that's on TV routinely every week, and that's it. The other two people are off camera all the time. So why do I care what they have to say? I never see these fools.
I wish I had a 10 spot that night for every time Jeff Jarrett called the Hurt Syndicate the Hurt Business. To the point where the other two got uncomfortable. They're going, looking at one another like this. And RJ Shitty's going, business.
Just call them the Hurt people. It's so much easier that way.
And Renee said, "Yeah, Jeff, it's the Hurt business. It's Hurt Syndicate. Hurt Syndicate."
I'm glad you covered that. We ain't got to talk about it anymore. SmackDown's coming on tomorrow, which is going to get into another area that I desperately want to cover real quick.
What is it?
Rumors going around now that SmackDown will not be cut from 3 hours to 2 hours. That USA Network is extremely happy with the ratings that they're doing. They're ecstatic with some of the stuff. I agree. I mean, they're holding 1.6 million, 1.4 million on average, which is better than anything else they had on a Friday night. They've got nothing there that's going to replace it. They have nothing there that's going to make it better. Here's my issue, man. SmackDown has become a fast board DVR, watch it the next day moment for me. I do not have 3 hours to commit to SmackDown every single week. It's just too long, and get to the shit. Right now, Raw is like a perfect format. Sometimes it's 2 hours and 15 minutes. Like it was really short either this week or the week before.
This week barely went over 2 hours. Because I watched it on Netflix after the fact, days later. And it was only an hour and 49 minutes without commercials.
Yeah, they got through that fast. That's what I want to see in a wrestling program. I don't need to stay here to don't tell me how the labor went. Don't tell me how the labor was. Show me the baby.
That's a good line. They've got problems, Don. I'm not gonna lie. We call it the way we say it. They've got major league problems because it's the same talent being used over and
over
the
same direct storylines.
And they don't push people who sort of deserve it. I mean, I keep saying for weeks, months, why don't you push Otis to win one of these low-level belts? Just push him and see what happens.
Fans are behind him.
He gets in the ring, tears his shirt off, he does that wiggle, and he goes down and does the caterpillar. People go crazy over that crazy shit. They love Otis, and he's probably one of the strongest guys on your roster. I've seen him lift all kinds of people up over his head and not even bat an eye. I don't know why they don't do it, but they're going to do what the WWE's going to WWE, so it is what it is. They need to have a draft right after WrestleMania and call some of these people up out of NXT and then take the people in Evolve and slide them over into NXT, which they're starting to do little by little. They've already, if you watched NXT this past Tuesday night, 2 major belts were dropped. Ricky Saints dropped the North American Championship clean as a sheet, basically, to Ethan Page right there in the middle of the ring. So Ethan Page is going to be defending that North American title in the AAA pay-per-view when Worlds Collide. Ricky Saints is going to be called up to the main roster. Nothing conclusive about where he's going to be. Stephanie Vacker dropped the NXT Women's Championship.
People have been screaming for her to come to the main roster since she arrived. She's one of those people that once she was there, I was like, guys, it's not hard to see she's ready to go to the main roster now. Why are we wasting our time here? Get her to the main roster. But this is what they need desperately in SmackDown. Cut it back to 2 hours. I don't care, USA Network. You're killing your fan base to where we're going to start leaving, and it's going to happen quickly because people just don't have time for that shit every night.
Well,
every Friday night, we don't have time.
She's going to Raw. Could be Monday. Could be this coming Monday. She's going to be on Raw. And people said, well, how come at the pay-per-view that she didn't drop the belt to Jordynne Grace? Why didn't she do that? Because Jordynne Grace didn't need the belt. Jordynne Grace is going to SmackDown. And look for Jordynne Grace probably to be on SmackDown maybe this Friday. Who knows?
Well, Trick Williams is now the TNA champion.
Yes,
I don't know what the hell's going on with that. I keep waiting on this dude to get called up. I really enjoy what I've seen from this guy.
Well,
can we do something with him already?
Well, what they do with it in NXT, let me clue you in. When you're in NXT and you're a new person, okay, you could be a heel for basically almost your whole career down there. And then Shawn Michaels will turn you, you could be a babyface almost your whole career down there. And Shawn Michaels will turn you heel to see if you can work heel. Okay, you've been a babyface, the crowd's been behind you. Is that why you're being pushed? Let's see if we take that all away and make you a heel. It's sink or swim time then. He did with Braun Breaker. He did with a lot of people. Turned him heel, and they passed with flying colors. You see Breaker now on the main roster.
He's ready.
Yeah, Williams is ready. Bring him up. Now he's a heel. Let's
quit dicking around. Bring him up. I'm tired of watching this. I don't want to see him anymore on the undercard. I want to see him on the Raw or SmackDown. I don't care. Speaking of Raw,
yes.
Did you see the rumors floating around there that WWE talent is super unhappy that Bert Kreischer, the comedian, was on Raw this week because of some of the derogatory things he said about their show in the past?
You got the wrong comic.
Sorry, Tom Segura.
Tom Segura
was there with Bert Kreischer.
Yes, Tom Segura did say several things on his podcast and stuff like that about professional wrestling, how fake it is. Well, no shit, of course it's fake.
Hold on. Before you go down this rabbit hole of what he said, I don't fucking care. I don't care. Grow up. It's an entertainment business. Colin Cowherd used to rip the shit out of the WWE. Colin Cowherd is a sports anchor. He's a sports announcer on Fox. Talk shit about it all the time. And then when WWE came on board, guess what Colin Cowherd did? He got in line and said, we're going to push a product because it's entertainment. My personal feelings will be set aside. Both these guys have said some derogatory shit about wrestling. Get over yourself. Kumbaya moment. Get together, enjoy the show, and push each other product, because the whole reason Tom was there is he's got a brand new show on Netflix. This show is on Netflix. They're using this to push major stars that they have on their show. So people crying, especially the IWC, you guys bitching and crying and boo-hooing that celebrities are on WWE, stop. Stop the cap. You're upset that they're not on your favorite AEW show. If they were on your show, you guys go fucking crazy over B and C celebrities.
These neckbeards who bitch about WWE, I call them AOLs, always online, never offline. They're always online, and they're always reading shit. They wouldn't be able to survive back in in the 80s or the 90s when all you had was the Pro Wrestling Observer. That's all you had to go and get your wrestling news. You didn't have Twitter. You didn't have any of these websites. They're always online bitching about. And if they're not, if everything's going smooth, they'll find something that happened 5 years ago to bitch about today. If
kind of like right now, right? We're bitching about SmackDown being long. We're both having the same thing. I'm not going to watch 3 hours. If this is what you're going to do, I'm not watching 3 hours. I'm done with it.
I'll watch it
said
delayed.
My piece. Yeah. I'll watch it the next morning.
Yeah.
Have a Bloody Mary, put 3 olives in it, go from there.
Yeah.
See where the day takes me. Might go play in traffic. Don't know. Might not be enough time. Maybe go into a Twitter space and burn it down later that evening. But yeah, everybody bitching about that. I'm over that. It's so ridiculous. By the way, thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notifications button. Super chat's open. If you got something to say, let us know. By the way, Triple H, there's another report out on Triple H.
Oh, imagine that.
He is not a fan of the Money in the Bank show or that idea.
I've seen that somewhere before. I saw it today for the first time. And where was this sourced from?
It's all over the place. There's sources. It's in multiple sites now.
It's from trustmebro.com.
I think so. Jack Wagons Are Us. I think.
Jack Wagons Are Us.
I don't care if he likes it or not. The fact is, it's one of the best. This is one of the best gimmicks that they came up with under the Vince McMahon era. It's absolutely amazing. When it's done right, it's perfect. It's been done right a few times. Edge was the first one to cash it in out of nowhere. The other one was Rollins. Seth Rollins had the biggest cash in ever at Mania. When it's done right, it can be done beautifully. That's all I'm saying. Damian Priest did it. He took the belt off of poor Drew in like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. It can be done right. It's just got to be booked the right way. And by the way, it doesn't need to be a face to win it. It should be a heel, in my opinion, every time.
The purpose of Money in the Bank is to elevate the guy who wins. Ashton Chevalier with $2 Canadian. My wife bitches about how long I am.
Dirty. You dirty. Warrior
dog.
JWR, thank you, brother. How you doing tonight? You guys catch Dark Side's past 2 episodes. You know what? I'm going to be honest, man. I bailed about 3 weeks ago. It wasn't a good season. I didn't enjoy it. Some of the story, when it started off with Hell in a Cell, I didn't have high hopes from there. I'm not saying that there's not more stories to tell. What I am going to say about Dark Side of the Ring is I think they're afraid to approach those stories anymore for fear of lawsuit, to be quite honest.
Could be.
I think they're afraid of getting sued.
Did we really need to watch an hour-long program to find out that Billy Jack Haynes is crazy?
No shit, right? Like he just off his, he just unalived his wife, 2 years ago now, a year ago, something like that. Like
2 years ago, I believe. And he's in I think he's in the prison loony bin is where he's at.
Yeah. So
he can't stand trial. He's not competent for that. People say he still thinks it's 1980. I don't know what's going on there. I have no idea. He lost his teeth in the glove box of his car. Don't know what's going on with that.
I'm going to run through Raw real quick. I don't want to go through this line by line, but there was some interesting.
I was just going to say that Raw, you can get behind those promos all you want to. And the 2 minutes of CM Punk coming out at the end.
It blows the roof off bottles.
But still, you've got a lot of dreck from the opening bell of that show hold on. When that pop happens at the end of the show. There's a lot of garbage.
I thought the Rollins promo was magnificent. I love the fact that they held the ones in the air and the fans booed the shit out of it. My son hated it. My wife is a Rollins fan, so she laughed at it. You don't like it? That's fine. You don't have to like it. I thought it was glorious. I thought it was a shot at Roman Reigns. I think we might have something building there, myself personally. Anything else, or are you just going to have frumpy face?
I'm listening to what you're saying. You know how I
Penta,
feel about that.
Dragon Lee, and Chad Gable. Chad Gable gets busted open hard way. Every match, I swear to God, dude. Every match, that guy's getting busted open hard way.
They're really pushing this Triple A. They're pushing this Triple A show with Vikingo was in the crowd.
Yes.
Had a hand in this match. Vikingo.
How do you think the neckbeards handled seeing that?
They're having they're pacing naked around their basement floor right now, checking their phone screens, bitching to the sky about they're ruining Lucha. They're ruining Lucha.
Well, Penta won the match, so they're not ruining it. But so far, my question to you about all of this to get to this point is, do you think Chad Gable comes back as a Americano Grande Americano?
El Grande
Americano. Yeah. Do you think he comes back into this as another qualifier match to get into Money in the Bank?
He can't be in Money in the Bank.
Why?
Because earlier that day, he's wrestling in the main event at AAA, Worlds Collide. He's wrestling Vikingo for the belt. They've already.
Well, what time is that?
Vikingo was wrestling this weekend against Alberto Del Rio, or Alberto El Patron, the AAA champion. He's going to win that belt back. And they were all pissed off in line. They can't wrap their heads around this. First, they were bitching about, they're going to ruin Lucha Wrestling because they bought AAA. Oh, they signed Alberto Del Rio. They signed him to a contract. That son of a bitch, that rapist, that women abuser. He abused Saraya, Paige, whatever you want to call her. He did this and did that. He had this one girl held hostage for a weekend and sexually abused her. And she never came to court to press charges against him. Can't believe it. And all they did was acquire his contract, like they acquired all the contracts of the guys in AAA. Of course, they're not going to do business with Del Rio. They don't want him on their programming. He's going to take a backstage role, if that. They're going to get the belt off of Del Rio this weekend. So when that Worlds Collide pay-per-view comes around and all the promotional...
Which is selling massive tickets.
Yes. It's already
outsold. They
sold
like 10,000 tickets now?
It's outsold Double or Nothing. They sold more tickets for this show than Double or Nothing. But
that's crazy.
Let me say this. In the promotional art for the show, the Chad Gable versus Vikingo
I've heard about this
for that belt.
Vikingo's the champion.
Yes, Vikingo will be the champion. They're all up in arms about that. Why can't they can't give they're not giving Del Rio a break. They're taking a belt away from him and putting it out there that's already he's going to lose. You can't win with these people. You cannot win with these people.
There was a couple of the bright spots in this show that I want to talk about. Liv Morgan returned. And when she returned, Dom was eating nuggets from the new girl in the group.
Yes.
And
she was rubbing his shoulder too.
Did you see Finn Balor as this shit was going down sitting between them? Look, I'm not the biggest Finn Balor fan, but you got me this week, buddy. I genuinely laughed my ass off because Finn Balor is sitting there like Dennis the Menace, watching him go back and forth, and he's grinning ear to ear. He's loving every minute of this.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
absolutely.
sorry. I don't know. Did you notice that? Because I thought that was hilarious, man.
Oh, yeah. It was all over Twitter also.
It was. The triple threat match, I just didn't care because it's going nowhere like all tag team matches in this company do. Gunther interrupting Jey Uso. I love this. If you didn't, I can't help you. I like Gunther. I'm sorry. I buy into that guy.
Right. I like Gunther.
So
I don't like Jey Uso. But it is what it is.
That entrance is over, pal.
That's what's over. He's not over.
The
entrance is over.
But it's over big time. Sane pinned Liv Morgan. She lost her qualifier match. Lyra Valkyrie had a good promo. It wasn't the best, but I thought it was good. Money in the Bank qualifier, here it is. Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor. You knew who was winning.
Of course.
Seth Rollins is going to Money in the Bank, and I think he's coming out of there with a briefcase. What do you think? You don't like Seth Rollins winning the briefcase?
I don't like Seth Rollins, period. Don't like him at all.
You know what your problem is, Bob?
When we started this show 2 years ago, I told you I didn't like Seth Rollins. And you were like, oh.
You know what your problem is?
What's that?
You're not a revolutionary. You're
not a visionary.
You're not watching Masturbatary. I'm sorry. He's over. I like the guy. I think he's going to win the Money in the Bank. I'm going to look forward to this. You don't have to like it, but learn to love it because it's the best thing going today. When is that pay-per-view, by the way? When is that PLE?
What PLE?
Yeah, do we got a date on when that Money in the Bank PLE is?
2 weeks from this weekend.
I thought it was right around the corner. That's crazy quick, right?
And then at the end of the month, you have another pay-per-view, which the name of that escapes me right now. But I believe you have another one at the end of the month.
I think it's called The Great Escape from Saudi Arabia.
The Great Escape.
Can we board a plane? Part 2. Oh, shit. I want to talk about that. We talked about the news. It's time to get into what everybody came here to see. 636,000 people watched AEW Dynamite. The first show since the pay-per-view. I thought it would have been a bigger number, to be quite honest. 636 seems kind of low. Yes. I don't know. I think I keep hearing June 7th. Thank you, Denisha. Everybody keeps saying the same shit over and over again. Mm-hmm. You just don't get it. It's for the sickos. It's for the fans. The opening of this AEW show, by the way, that drew 3,200 tickets were distributed. Mm-hmm. Place. It's a weird building. Did you look at the setup of it? Like, it can be set up for 8,000, but it sits 6,000 normally. So it can be 8,000 for a concert. I guess they just take all the seats out of the floor and it's standing room only. Right.
They whittled it down to 3,000. So, which is their sweet spot. Anywhere from 1,400 to 3,000. That's
which is their sweet spot right now. You're right.
How with this company, with the metrics that they're doing, the bad ratings, the bad live event sales, no money in the merch. How can people look at this company and say, "Oh, it's a success. It's fantastic"? How do they look at that? How do they do that?
It's the same people that say that Mercedes Moné, once you work with her, you're better off for it. We can't name one wrestler that's been better off after working with Moné. Not one. It has taken Willow Nightingale a year to climb out of that schlick she was on, that oil well they threw her down. It's taken, by the way, Harley Cameron. It's taken her since February. It's been 3 months. It's been a quarter of a year. It's taken her to get back to Dynamite and have a match. And who do they put her in the ring with? One of the most inexperienced chicks they got in the entire company, who happens to break both noses in the match. Craziest shit I've ever seen.
What about Statlander? She's wrestled her twice because she's the only one who can have a good match with her. She's wrestled her twice. And Statlander is just lurking around the hallways.
Rabbit, if you were there, I want to hear about it, pal, because I'm going to start covering this thing real quick. Mm-hmm. Tony Schiavone is in the ring, your favorite guy, and he calls out Hangman Page, who's wearing, I swear to God, that Owen Hart Cup belt, it reminds me of the tag team championships the WWF had in the 80s and 90s. It's almost a dead ringer for it. But he comes down the ring wearing the thing, which I don't understand how the belt is a trophy. I don't get this, man. I don't get it.
You get a trophy and you get the belt.
And then they give it back the next night. Just the dumbest shit ever. It's dumb. Anyway, as I'm running this down, literally they go to the crowd. Someone holds up a WWF title behind Hangman. And I said, you've got to be shitting me. How do you let WWF paraphernalia into the show to get thrown up in shots like that? It doesn't make... Can you imagine if the WWE let in people that were wearing AEW belts? I'm sure they've tried. They said, take that shit back to the car. You're not coming in with that shit.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. They probably, the guys, I would say girlfriend, but not many of them have girlfriends. Maybe his wife had it in her purse, big bag. She pulled it out. He put it on. Who knows? Maybe he had it under his T-shirt when he was in line to get in. You really think they're checking these people? They have no continuity in this company to their storylines whatsoever. They don't even know who's hurt, who's injured. They don't know who's pregnant. They don't know who may have died over the weekend. They have no idea because they got so many people working there.
Dude, you're wrong there. I've seen how they do the security when they come in the building. They hold a mirror under their nose. If they breathe, they let them go.
There you go. Perfect. A mirror, and then they hand him a can of Right Guard. Here you go, pal. Do you agree with Sally Jesse Raphael LaGreca from Busted Open? Does the Seth stable look forced? I do. It looks mid. Pablo, I agree with you 100%. Thanks for the $5. I'll agree with anybody who gives me $5. But I do.
Unsurprisingly, Pablo is also a Seth Rollins hater.
my kind of guy.
See, I don't think so. The only outsider to me is Bronson Reed because they set up the Braun Breaker angle a year ago in NXT. And even I was watching that show because that was the super NXT show that they had where Paul Heyman and he interacted. So it made sense. That was a callback to people that watched that show. I'm not surprised by it at all. I'm really
also, not. If you're talking about callbacks with Heyman and NXT, he did walk into Ava's office. We lost on.
No, you didn't.
Oh, there you go.
Bitch, you wish.
Heyman walked into Ava's office in NXT. She's the general manager of NXT.
Yes.
And you got to admit, he went in and sat down. They had a long talk. And that led to nothing. Nothing happened.
How do you know? In my mind, that was about Braun Breaker. Just saying. Just saying. Anyway, back to this AEW shit show. This is what has become of Tony Schiavone. He says to him, incredible win last night, him being Adam Page, incredible win last night, hands him the microphone and walks the fuck off. Just walks off. Out of the frame, out of the shot. I don't know what is he doing there, Bottles? It used to be he was there to conduct interviews. Now he just hands microphones off and leaves?
I ask this question every week when we review this 2-hour-long shit fest. I ask that same question every week. Can we get him off of TV? Can we get him just to do the interviews backstage? No, you'd rather see 3 attractive women do the interviews backstage. Every once in a while, we get the jarhead back there, Officer Bar Brady. And I don't even remember his real name. The guy, Alan, whatever. What's his name?
Gustafson.
You know who I'm talking. Alan Gustafsonsberg. Yes, that guy with the pickle barrel, with the pickle jar head,
yes,
with the ears glued to the side. Schiavone brings nothing to the table anymore with this show outside of looking like just a sad look on his face.
Wait, no, I've got something to say about that in a minute. Just
Good
hold
God.
on. By the way, so Rabid Wolverine Killer said they used half the building. He was there last night. So thank you for that input. They used half the building and that was it. So
just half the building. That's nice.
So Adam Page goes to give Tony Schiavone the Owen Hart belt, who looks at the belt like he's holding a mentally challenged cat. He has no idea what to do with this thing. Did you see? He looked at it like.
At least he opened his eyes all the way. They got him to open his eyes up all the way because usually he's asleep when we're at the commentary desk. I think they got a button of all his salient sentences that he has on a button, and just Riccaboni presses the button. The greatest night in the history of our sport.
That's it. That's his
go-to. A man of his size making that move. Hits another button.
Yeah, that's.
We're hot tonight. Go ahead.
Then out comes Swerve Strickland, and I said, this match, this rivalry is the song that will not end. What else can you do to each other? You stuck needles in your buddies' faces. You set a house on fire. You hit somebody with the goddamn cinder block. There's nothing left to do.
No.
Let this go away, man.
The reason is, I'll tell you what the reason is. They can't build any stars to go up against the stars that are there. If they were building stars, they could have a guy come in and try to take on Swerve separately from Hangman. They would have another challenger for Hangman when he wins, if he wins this title for Moxley, which I sincerely doubt. You would have someone else to interact with Will Ospreay, who's a star, but they don't know how to build any stars. Let's see Fat Mark Davis and his hairy back come back. He's out hurt right now. I think he broke his foot again. Let's see him come back and take on Ospreay or take on Hangman Page. It would be laughable because he's not built to be a star. I don't understand it, Don. I don't understand any of it. You got guys who are like 6'4" in this company. They're few and far between, but they're buried. They're losing to little guys.
So like I said, out he comes. And then we get a flashback to the Bucks saying they helped cost Swerve the title because they remembered that this numbnut Page is their friend and they never forget their friends. And Ospreay comes out. And by the way, did you notice Ospreay's hair was slicked down so it looked longer? And the cowboy no longer had the perm. The perm was gone. So we're making some small progress here. The perm's off of the dipshit. and the Englishman is at least trying to wet down his bobby cut. Good
Dude, it was
Lord.
still hanging forward. It was still swinging
I
forward.
get it.
Like he looked like a blonde Shemp Howard with his locks, his greasy locks flopping down in front of his forehead and his eyes. He looks ridiculous. Don't any of those girls backstage have a brush they can loan him? A hair dryer and a vent brush just to do his hair. WWE, you could go back and get a shave and a haircut before you go out on TV.
2 cents.
Yeah. But they don't have that backstage at AEW?
I don't know. And
It's
this entire promo,
insane.
and I don't know if you caught this or not. This felt like a very WWE type open with the promos and not their normal matches that ran really long.
15,
Here's
20
the
minutes?
issue. Here's the issue. They don't have a CM Punk in this company that can cut a promo and keep you
No.
enthralled the whole time. They just don't. Because they, of course, always harken back to at the end of this promo, it was a rah-rah speech where Ospreay's like, he's here for AEW, bruv. You got to trust him on this. You got to trust him. And Swerve goes, I don't believe shit you said. And that was the end of the whole thing. And it fell flatter than a pancake. Just right there.
That was it. All that talking and talking just for that ending, which was ridiculous. And I'm telling you right now, the only thing they could have done to make it worse is to talk about, I knew you when you slept on the floor of my mate's flat. I knew you when you slept inside the crisper of the refrigerator when we didn't have a bed to put you on. We took you in, we trained you. They could have
Ashton
went
Chevalier
that way.
says Hangman is a broke back mountain type of cowboy. No denying that. He has been wearing those butterfly pants since day one. No one believes this guy is a real cowboy.
Do you think he's felt the subtle love of a man before?
I'm not going down this road. I'm
The
not
dirt
going
road?
down this road.
I'm not. It's a red dirt road, Don.
It's a dusty trail. That's what I heard. Not going. This thing, for all of this to lead to all of that, it ended with both guys throwing the microphones down and everybody left the ring. I don't understand what the point of this entire segment was. It should have ended with either somebody getting punched in the face or having an understanding and a come to Jesus moment and say, I'm going to back you, but I am going to fight you when this whole thing is said and done. I want my title back. We didn't get any of that.
It's a war.
We didn't get any of that.
They're having a war with
Thank
WWE.
you, Ashley.
They're having a war with WWE, so they want to do the most WWE things that they possibly can, but they just can't do it well.
Oh, boy.
The problem is he can't book a show, and he can't make stars. That's the problem. The guy who books the program owns it.
Do you know what your problem is, bruv?
I'm a hater, bruv. I'm a hater. A hater. I'm not a Jamie hater.
You don't have any tracksuits, bruv. You wouldn't understand the lifestyle. You need to get yourself some Adidas.
Did we talk about it last week about how people bagged on him about his?
No, that came out this week. I think
that came out this week. Ospreay, when he was on his RAW tour for AEW, well, these shitty podcasts, a lot like ours that nobody listens to. The guy,
people listen to us. You're gonna stop.
The guy came out.
By the way, thank you all for listening. Please like and subscribe. Johnny Bottles is a dick. Moving on.
Ospreay said that, they always criticize the way I dress, but I'm comfortable. It look like the fans.
I don't want you to look like the fans. I want you to look like a star. I want you to look the part. Rabid Wolverine says, I was surrounded by a lot of the sickos at the show.
Okay, Rabid Wolverine.
Hold on.
Rabid, I want to know, how did it smell in that arena?
That's what I was going to ask him. How was the BO detector going off in your nose? I have to know this one. That's been on my mind forever. Then we get the Double or Nothing recap, which is fine. We're at the 20-minute mark, and the Cracker Clan shows up.
They really look like the Cracker Clan now with another skinhead.
Dude, I know.
And he spit on a black girl.
Wait. We're going to get there. That's the entire point of this match. That what I was going to say was they used to arrive at a Dodge that was fully loaded. They're now at a stripped down bare bones GMC. They're on hard times. The pocketbooks aren't quite as fat. That's what I was going to say. But the thing that came out of this match was the new addition to the Cracker Clan, literally spit on a black woman that was in the corner waiting to be tagged in.
Mm-hmm.
Stop everything now. Like, I've got a bunch of other shit that happened throughout the course of this.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the what the hell are we doing here moment. Glenn Taylor, Ocean Spray reminds me of a high school circa 1999. Dude,
he could have been on Saved by the Bell. He could have been on Saved by the Bell. Here's Willie from Great Britain. He's our exchange student. Willie.
I don't disagree. I've always thought he looks like a late 1980s, early 1990s New Jersey dad. He's got the same haircut, the same jewelry, the same Adidas tracksuit, pants, all that shit. That's what I think he looks like. Like he stepped off the Jersey Turnpike, like, hey, what are we doing here, guys? Let's do some things that we like. Let's hang out on the street, make some bad decisions.
If that voice came out of Osprey next week on Dynamite, I'd laugh my ass off.
I would love it.
If he said like Silvio from The Sopranos, that would be fantastic.
Thank you, Glenn, very much for the 10 spot. We really appreciate it, brother.
Yes,
but you are right. The new guy, what's the new guy's name? I don't remember what his name
Gabe
is.
Kidd. He's the next big thing from New Japan. He said he would never go to AEW. F that company.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yes. And he's right in there.
He spit on a black woman.
Yes, he did.
In a group that was said by Dave Meltzer, not Don Wayne, not Johnny Bottles. This entire group was based off an Australian white supremacy movie. That's the entire basis for this group and the characters that they're trying to form.
Lines from the movie were integrated in the promos. Yes.
And you thought it was a good... Can you imagine if the WWE with Triple H, who they scream is racist all the time, who has minorities left and right as his champion, can you imagine if he had this happen in one of his matches? People would be screaming in the streets for him to be fired. The neckbeards are completely silent over all of this. It's disgraceful. I don't give a shit if it's wrestling. There's certain things you don't do. They just are.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And Gabe Kidd, I don't understand the appeal. I don't get it. He looks like he stopped working out since he got signed to AEW. But don't feel bad, Gabe. A lot of guys stop working out when they come to AEW. We'll talk about one of those guys later on. But Gabe Kidd looked all white and doughy. White and doughy. Running around in those black jeans or whatever the hell it was.
I have this in my notes. Thank goodness they added another shaved head white guy to the group. He didn't have enough.
What a match.
Willow comes out with the Karate Kid, Mike Bailey, Mark Briscoe, and Wheeler looks completely absurd on the outside of the ring the entire time. I keep waiting for the lights to jump off of him and join the crowd and start fighting them.
He looks like a Japanese World War II prisoner. Just they left him on the island somewhere in a cage.
Then there's a rail.
The war's over.
No one's cut his hair.
Right.
The beard's out of control.
Horrible. Looks horrible.
Did you see, and I've got to ask you this because this was so atrocious, the kicks that Mike Bailey was given, John Moxley was on the outside of the ring, was the weakest looking shit I've ever seen in my... I've seen some weak kicks. He was that's what it looked like.
Buddy, it was...
Did you see it?
It was the most indie-rific shit you'd ever want to see on this show. It looked like he was in a 5th Regiment Armory somewhere, like he was in a VFW hall wrestling with the top turnbuckle maybe about 4 feet away from the ceiling of the place. That's what it looked like. It was horrible. And Moxley, he really didn't know how to sell it. He just hit me with the weakest shit I've ever seen in my life. How am I going to sell this?
I didn't sell this.
How can I sell this? I usually don't sell to begin with. Okay, I won't sell this then. I'll fall backwards.
Warrior JWR, doesn't Hangman look like Jonah Hill in Superman?
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. He's about the same height.
I don't know.
Also.
I'll have to go back, and he is the same height.
Although, who do they got? Who do they have? Who would you take in that roster of male talent to take the belt off of John Moxley? Who are you going to give it to? Ospreay?
I told
Hangman?
you who I would have given it to. I've told you who I'd have given it to.
Who? Ospreay, right?
No.
Who?
No.
Lance Archer.
I give you a hint. He's big and black and jacked, and that's not his T-shirt.
Lashley.
Yeah, I'd give it to Lashley, and then they can have the the Freebirds rule. Now MJF slides in to start defending the tag team championship. That's what I'd do.
Why not? Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, looks in, makes sense to me. Thank you, Warrior JWR. So
how are you going to have Lashley take on these little guys in these matches, in these singles matches? It's going to be a rout every time.
These tag teams, you kick the shit out of them, and you don't apologize about it on the way out. I want to get back to this because Barefoot Betty gets tapped in to kick the shit out of out of Briscoe. Did you notice the chick tags in, kicks the shit up, and then gets out? What are we about to go down this rabbit hole in AEW with intergender matches? Are we going down this rabbit hole?
They're going to do it. They're going to do it. You're going to see it. She's horrible. I don't understand what she had on her feet. At first, they looked like, what is she wearing? Flip-flops in the ring? What does she got on? And she just had these black, Brother Fluff Salisbury with the 5 spot. Mox's facial twitches look like my cat when he's coughing up a fur ball. Yes.
Dude, he has the worst selling face of any wrestler I've ever seen in my life. That's in a main event, horrible. I should say.
He looks constipated.
Oh, I want to talk about that here a little bit too, because that sell when he got kicked by Speedball was just ridiculous. But Barefoot Betty throws, who did she throw next? She threw someone else. There's 2 commercial breaks through this thing. And here it is. Moxley has the shittiest day spot ever. Why does he even get this spot? You know what I'm talking about? Where he's sitting there like, oh, I'm so totally dazed, bro. Why? Why does this guy suck? The essence of this guy every show is just a soul-sucking moment.
He looks like his spine is paralyzed. Doesn't he?
Yes.
Like he can't bend. He's approaching Matt Hardy in mobility. He really is.
Walk like this. No one will notice.
He looks. It's just. What else can you say about this? It's the shits.
This was everything I feared it was going to be, Bottles. It was everything I feared it was going to be.
Briscoe and Nightingale deserve better. That's all I can say.
Oh,
100%. A hell of a lot
100%.
better for being associated with this crap. It's awful.
It just is. It's
in fact that women's tag match is coming up later. It should have been Nightingale in there. And on the face.
Why? I don't want her to break her nose. Christ.
She's a little more durable than the supermodels, pal.
I don't know. I think
the inflatable girls are not as durable as someone like Willow Nightingale, a big bone broad.
Walking flotation devices.
That's what they are.
This thing doesn't end. Out comes Claudio. Commander comes running out. Okay, here we go. And then to close it, as if it wasn't bad enough. Thank you again, Brother Fluff.
Hang on a minute. You're skirting over one thing. The man ran across 2 top ropes, and they stood there like idiots with their mouths open for this guy to jump down.
Watch this guy run.
To jump on top of him.
They put all 3 heels, put all 3 faces in a submission move, and they all tapped at the same time.
How many times you have to see this? How many times you got to do that spot? They do it every week.
It's been quite a theme here as of late. I will give you that.
I can't wait till that 4-hour Dynamite happens. It's going to be fantastic.
Next week, I can't wait for you to tell me about it because I can tell you one guy that's not watching that.
It's going to be Collision after Dynamite. Both shows live next week.
And I won't be watching Collision.
That's going to be it's going to be done twice in a month because they're moving their Collision away from WWE programming.
Let me ask Chat this real quick. I don't watch Collision. Bottles doesn't watch Collision.
No.
I was told today that tons of people watch Collision on Saturdays. I did the research on it. They're averaging about 350,000 people a year this year. Holy shit, things fell over here. I cooked a 3-course meal, turned that rope off.
You could have, pal. You could have. You could have went out and hunted a duck and killed it and plucked the feathers out of it. Cut the head off, let the blood drained off, gutted it, and braised it in a pan with some garlic and some rosemary. When he was walking that rope, it was awful.
I've said it before and I'll say it again.
Go ahead.
What are we doing here?
You're putting on a show to entertain the owner of the company. That's what it is. That's what it is. He's entertaining himself because he thinks this is the kind of thing that he likes to see. So why not everyone else? Because I like what they like. How come they don't like what I like? They like what I like. Sure they do. And people backstage agents making $500,000 a year to be an agent that no one listens to. Oh, yeah, Tony, it's great. You're great. Oh, this is just fantastic. The crowd's a little soft. They're probably tired. They just watched an hour and a half of Ring of Honor.
We've been doing this for 5 hours. Shouldn't we be going home? No. We've got a whole new 2-hour press conference after this. We still got 2 more matches. We're fine.
I have to talk about how great I am, and the whole company's great. And then Tony's got to come out and talk dirty to everybody. Not Tony Schiavone, of course.
This is the greatest night of the history of our sport.
Come and line up and put it in me. Tony Schiavone talking dirty.
I guarantee you, when Tony Schiavone is laying down the hammer and he's got the blue chews going, he screams out, "This is the greatest night of the history of my life."
You really think he's laying in a hammer? I think he's laying on his back.
Give a shit. It's a joke. Ash and Chevalier. Tony Khan has basically destroyed the women's division at AEW to satisfy Mercedes Hogan. After she beats Toni Storm, there's nowhere to go. We are going to talk about that in depth, Action, but
yes, we are. If we could get through the review of this show.
But he's right. He's right. We can talk about it now because I don't want to talk.
Get to the end. When do we get to the end? Where they did the promo, and we'll talk about it then.
Now you want to wait till we get to the segment.
Well, there's more shit the wade through here. I got my hip boots on, pal. If I got my hip boots on, I'm standing in 5 feet of shit. We're gonna get through it and make it to the shoreline before I take these boots off. Let's go.
MJF and the Hurt Syndicate. I'm sorry, I'm gonna cut you off there. This is how MJF should be presented in the Hurt Syndicate, not as some grab-ass, goofy mark. He was presented as a serious wrestler. All of them were presented as serious wrestlers. This is how he should have been presented the whole time.
Right.
This is what I want to see.
You know what warmed my heart? You know what warmed my heart? At the pay-per-view, Bobby Lashley gave him a hug.
Oh, God, I want to see that.
Bobby Lashley's actually accepted MJF into the Hurt Syndicate.
Again, this is how he should have been presented from day one, not as this ass-kissing, boot-licking clown, but as a serious professional wrestler. Everything he said in that promo, I believed in. Yes. MVP no longer has to be the sole voice for them. And MJF no longer has to try to scream into the microphone to anybody that will listen to get his point across. You now have the backing to come off as a serious threat for the world title. And he went straight into it. I'm here for the world title. Which, by the way, apparently from what I've read and heard today, Adam Page and Ocean Spray were both telling Tony Khan, no, he should win it. No, he should win it. Neither one of these guys want the opportunity. That's not how it should work. You should be saying, I have earned this, not the other way around. When Steve Austin won the belt, he didn't say, you know what, The Rock's been pretty good. It was, no, this is my time. I've earned this. I've worked for this. When The Rock won it, it's my time. Steve had his time. When Brock won it, it's my time. He should get it. No, he should get it.
These people are paid so well to do so little. They're rewarded with so much to put out virtually nothing, that they're so complacent and they don't want the extra responsibility of carrying the title. You know who said Hangman should get it? Moxley. Tony went to Moxley, and Moxley picked whoever you want to wrestle at All In. It's your call. Let's do Hangman.
Do you think he drops the belt at All In?
No.
I don't either.
No.
I don't either anymore.
They're going to ride this train until they have one viewer left.
It'll be Moxley's wife on the damn television set backstage. I'm here, buddy. I got you. Anyway, we're going to keep moving this train along. Suddenly, after weeks of fans tweeting about Harley Quinn, she's suddenly back on Dynamite. She's no longer relegated to Collision. What's your face for?
Cameron.
Sorry, Harley Cameron. Harley Quinn, I said?
Quinn's a different thing altogether. Yes.
Look, dude, she's a bat bitch. That's all I know. That's what she named herself after. So that's what I'm going with.
Harley Cameron's come a long way. She really has.
So we started noticing her about a year ago. Like, who's the chick that seems kind of funny backstage? Who's the chick that's singing on Twitter? Who is this girl? And we had our boy Jimmy C81 include me in, hey, man, this is Harley Cameron. She's actually super talented. I don't know why she's not getting used. I was like, shit, Jimmy, thanks for turning me on to this. And then Jimmy, of course, sent me 45 pictures of his favorite wrestlers. Easy, cowboy. Jimmy, we love you. We kid. I love you because I kid. Anyway, that happened. She's coming back. I said, yeah. The next part of this show confused the shit out of me. I don't know how you felt.
Why I watched this show confused the shit out of me.
Why was Ping Pong doing a promo segment at a bombed out shelter in the middle of nowhere with no one out there with? I don't get it.
Are you actually trying to make sense of this crazy?
He's on the air.
He's on the air. I'm telling your family, he's on the air.
Well, my son's going to bed. Love you, buddy.
I love you. Love you, Dixon.
Again, why is he
out of school?
Why is tomorrow's his last day.
Tomorrow's
he
his
actually
last day?
made the
I saw that.
He made the honor roll, the high honor roll. He was one of 15 kids in his grade. I'm very proud of my son.
Tell him Uncle Bottle said good job.
Uncle Bottle said you did a great job. He said he'd send you a bottle of whiskey later.
Who?
Why is he at a bombed out shelter, Bottles? I don't understand this, man.
The rumor going around is he's gonna put together a team. That's the rumor going around. A team of bozos probably that don't see any TV time.
Who do you put with him?
This will never happen.
Harley Cameron?
This will never happen. No. There are so many people out there Harley Cameron could be a mouthpiece for. She could be the manager or valet for. Hey, I don't know why they don't do that with her. Brian Cage and Lance Archer. They could take those guys and set Harley Cameron out with them, and they would get over.
I don't know who you put him with. I don't care. I want to move on to the Megan Bayne, Penelope Ford versus Anna Jay and Harley Cameron match.
I'll tell you who you could put Ricochet with. A good proctologist. Go ahead.
This was bad in every way, shape, and form. Megan Bayne.
We're talking about this match now.
Megan Bayne is not. She's not ready for prime time, pal. I'm sorry.
No, she's not.
And I'm sorry, but Penelope
she looks like $1 million.
Ford, there's a reason Penelope Ford shouldn't be on TV all the time either.
Penelope Ford shouldn't have a job there. She should not have a job there.
Both of these girls dropped the other girls straight on their faces and broke their noses.
And
I don't mean just
Megan
like,
Bayne,
oh shit, my bad.
Famously,
like,
she broke Harley's nose right on camera on the ring steps. She put her down too fast. Harley tried to get that left hand up to break her fall. Couldn't do it. Busted her nose all up. She was down in the corner putting blood caps on her nose. No, she broke her freaking nose. That's already been verified by everyone who feeds the dirt to the neckbeards.
Exactly.
She's broken her nose. Anna Jay got dropped on her face on a steel chair.
On a chair.
By Megan Bayne.
Right on her face.
Right on her face and broke her nose. And she doubled up and she was down. I mean, she wasn't getting back up.
You knew she was in pain immediately. And the part about this that got my attention was when Harley hit it, you heard Taz say, oh my. Like he knew, when they went and did the replay, he knew it. He was like, she nailed her face. He was calling that live. He was like, she just nailed her face. I know that sound.
Why are they taking these shots? Why are these women wrestling in hardcore matches? Why is this happening? Why is Megan Bayne on television? Why is Penelope Ford employed? If I had her on my payroll, she would have been fired Thursday morning. This morning she would have been fired.
I don't know how you don't. I really don't know how you don't.
For botching that doomsday device that they were trying to do.
Worst piece of shit move I think I've ever seen for a finisher, where you do the doomsday device like the LOD, and You don't just lightly clothesline her. You airballed the clothesline. You didn't even touch her hair. Missed the shit out of it.
For the younger kids out there who aren't sure what a doomsday device is, the Road Warriors finisher was Animal would go and get the guy up on his shoulders for a piggyback ride while he's dazed, the opponent that is. Hawk would meantime be climbing the top turnbuckle to deliver a clothesline off the top, and Animal would fall backwards with his rider, so he would take some of the brunt of the fall. And no one would get hurt from a doomsday device, unless Hawk was a little over-caffeinated that day, of course. But these girls did it. Penelope Ford never even touched Harley Cameron. I guess she was in all defense to Penelope Ford, I thought about it after the show. Was she just afraid she was going to hurt Harley Cameron even more?
I just broke this bitch's nose. This chick's got a broken nose.
Megan Bain broke the noses.
Yeah, but
Ford didn't do anything.
Know that they're broken. She's like, they're all broken. This is a shit show. We got to get the hell out of here. I think she looked and lightly hit her and just missed completely.
How do you let that go on the air, man? If you didn't cut that out of the West Coast feed, if you didn't cut to a different camera angle on the West Coast feed to try to make that look good, what are we doing here? You can go back and edit that shit. You got plenty of time to do it. By the way,
thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notifications button. We appreciate you all. We're trying to grow the subs. We're headed to 2,000. That's the next goal. That's my next goal is 2,000 subs. Thank you all. We appreciate you all.
Can't wait to get to 2,000 subs.
Monet arrives in a lowrider. She is channeling her inner Eddie Guerrero. I don't give a shit. I'm moving on.
No one was there to greet her.
No one. No one gives a shit. I don't give a shit. You don't give a shit. Wigosaurus Rex, no one cares about. No one cares.
No one cares about her. In fact, she's starting to get X-Pac heat, go away heat. She really is. They don't want to see her on TV anymore, except for the.
Oh no, there's some stands.
The Gooner community. The Gooner community and the neckbeards. There's a subset of the neckbeard community called the Gooner community. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, dude, I talked to one today. This guy was like, what are you talking about? No one even knew who Harley Cameron was until she was wrestling. Bro, I got introduced to her a year ago, well before this. Somebody brought her to my attention. I'm not alone. I thought she was a shit worker, but I saw some of her clips and I said, she could do something in this business. I'm not saying she should be a wrestler, but there is a spot for someone with that kind of talent.
The best line I've heard about Mercedes Moné was from a Twitter friend. He's a friend of yours too, called Where's the Rats? When someone was taking up for Moné and he said, it looks like Tony Storm's going to be losing to a $2 Filipino rent boy.
Yes.
That's what Mercedes Moné looks like. She's starting to look like a transsexual. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Go ahead. You look exasperated by all this. You're just exasperated.
Dude, the ops come out.
Oh, we're doing this now.
Dude, their music is just trash, man. It's just awful. It's awful. The music you come out to in wrestling, I'm sorry, it can either make or break you as a group or a singular act. Am I wrong in that regard?
You're not wrong at all. Look at Jey Uso and Seth Rollins. The music they come out to has made their careers. It has. They come out to what I wrote down. This sounds like the Brown Note on South Park. This is awful. And everyone shit their pants and changed the channel. And they're wrestling the frat house. I said, who the fuck are these guys? Fast forward, I don't care. This is a squash match. It's fine to have a squash match. I don't care. But don't introduce them as the frat house like there's somebody I should know. Don't you know that AEW is an alternative to WWE? That's why they're copying NXT acts like Chase University. And
yes, they are.
Rebranding them as the frat house and putting them on their television. And these guys, they all look like they're 40 years old.
You know what somebody said today on Twitter to me? They said,
what's that?
I don't think they are like the NXT guys. He called back even further. He said, they're more like the guys Shane McMahon had, whatever that group was. I forgot the name of it.
Mean Street Posse.
Mean Street Posse. Yes, he said that's what they're like.
These are muscle heads. They're not anything like the Mean Street.
So was Mean Street Posse. They just wore those cheerleader outfits to look the part.
Cheerleader outfits? You mean the sweater vests and the Cheeto pants?
They were call them that. I call them cheerleader. I don't give a shit what you call them. That's what I call them.
That's a Spirit Squad. Had the cheerleader outfits.
That's it. The Spirit Squad. Yes,
that's what you're thinking of. The Spirit Squad. Yeah.
Yes.
These guys are 40 years old. They got Preston Vance.
So was the Spirit Squad.
They got Preston Vance in there. Preston Vance, who you haven't seen in years, made a comeback now in Ring of Honor. These guys are a big act. No, I won't say big act. Well, they're a big act because there's like 9 of them. That's why it's a big act. In Ring of Honor, I'll show that no one watches.
Mickey, you're so fun. You're so fun. You blow my mind. Hey, Mickey.
There's no. These guys are Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor. That's it. That's your explanation for who the frat house are. They were in Ring of Honor. That's it.
That's all I got. So out comes Renee Baguette wearing a Mustang Sally outfit and brings out Jamie Hayter.
Mustang Sally!
Dude, just go back and look at that outfit and tell me that doesn't scream Mustang Sally. She's got horses everywhere, dude.
Awful. It's just the shits. There was a horse in the ring.
Jamie Hayter comes out. Wrong horse. Jamie Hayter comes out. I said, okay, what's Jamie Hayter going to do? The lights go out, and some chick I've never heard of kicks the shit out of her, and they go, Decla's here! Can you believe it's Decla? They don't stop doing this dumb shit. No one knows who Decla is outside of you Cheeto sexuals.
Why and even half of them don't even know who she is. They don't know. They have no idea. Why wouldn't you just have Thekla come out, do like a little package where you see her in the ring? I'm sure they could get some of the footage from Stardom just to run it like a 1-minute promo, and then have her come out to beat up some jobber. They got plenty of jobbers in this company. They could have put Red Velvet on there. You remember Red Velvet?
I remember Black Velvet.
You remember Red Velvet?
Little boy smile.
Let's roll back to 2021. Red Velvet, who's still employed by the company. They could have brought her out to do the job for Thekla.
Southern style.
And then slowly work her way up to facing Toni Storm or Mercedes Moné or somebody who's a bigger star than the jobber she's been facing. But no, let's just throw her right in with Jamie Hayter.
You know what? A new religion that'll bring you to your knees.
Black Velvet, if you please.
No, we get this spider bitch instead doing the backwards crawl. I don't get what this was. This was all wrong. This was built to shit. I don't like any of this. Fast forward button, engage. And then I get to Mystico's promo / vignette. This was epic.
I think I fast forwarded through this. I fast forwarded through this promo.
It was not
whatever
good.
This was.
I wrote
a guy with a mask.
Down.
If I saw a guy with a mask trying to talk and there's shit all him flying around the ring, I just fast forwarded right through it.
Dude, I just wrote Mystico promo vignette. It left nothing Buddy, for me to care about.
If, you know, when you're sitting there in a chair, tied to a chair, and somebody's just throwing dog shit at you, every once in a while, you're going to have to duck one or two because you don't want to be hit with it.
I ducked the shit out of that one. This thing didn't hit at all.
It's horrible.
Tony Khan, I believe you might watch us time to time. Some things I see on your show that we talk about. Please stop throwing poo at me. That's all I ask. Also, please like and subscribe. Hit the notifications button. Let us know if you like the show. Give us some comments after the show. Let us know what you liked, what you want us to talk about. I like to read comments. Neckbeards, I'm looking at you. Anyway, out comes Kyle Fletcher and Adam Cole, and there is only one thing to talk about. There is only one thing I want to talk about in this entire match, and I don't give a shit. But Kyle Fletcher, we've seen the spot now a bunch of times. They do it 100 times. You pick the guy up and you power bomb him onto the ring apron where his back hits. It's a dangerous spot in and of itself. I'm not a fan of the spot. That's a damn good way to get a broken back. It's a damn good way to have something herniated back there. But this we didn't even get because Kyle Fletcher said, fuck your back. I'm going to bounce your coconut off the edge of the apron like a basketball and then power slam you legit to the floor. I am winning that belt whether you like it or not. He bounced his head off the apron like a bowling ball, dude.
Like a bowling ball.
Like a basketball, sorry.
He went down hard, and he grabbed his head right away. And the announcers even went, oh, oh. It was a whole kerfluffle with the microphones. Like, what the hell?
Their pants.
He's dead. They killed him. This is Don.
We may have just witnessed a 187. We may have just seen a 187.
This is a problem with these guys won't slow down. Pace yourselves. You don't have to throw every single spot that you talked about into your match and then rush around and try to get through all these spots. Take one or two out. Don't try to break a man's neck. He's fragile as it is. He looks bad as it is. Take your time. Take your time. Instead, he almost decapitated the poor bastard. I'm surprised he got up. I'm surprised he got up to finish the match.
All of this to have the match end the way you knew it would end. Kyle Fletcher's group came out. It was a DQ finish. You didn't need that spot to have that happen.
No.
Like, dude, you just Forrest Gumped his ass on television. Like, this dude's going to be talking in quotes the rest of his life.
Did you see the side of his head, where he's got that golf ball growing out of the side of his head?
Yes.
Good Lord Almighty. Get that thing lanced.
Get that looked at, son.
You got something wrong right there. You got something really, really wrong going on your melon right there. That's bad.
Kyle Fletcher always said I shouldn't be the TBS champion. I guess he was right. I'm the TNT champion. I'm going to lose it, though. Kyle Fletcher kicked my ass one time, but for real.
God damn Adam Cole.
I don't need the TNT title to retread ties.
He's Adam Cole should just. I would. He
legit bounced his head like a basketball.
The back of his head, like a basketball, off the hard part of the ring. He's lucky he didn't break his neck. He's lucky he seriously did not do a Tyson Kidd.
He is.
And internally decapitated him. If you don't know why, if you don't know how, that's Tyson. It's not a tumor. Tyson Kidd is Natty's husband. He's an agent for WWE. His in-ring career ended. He was teaming with Cesaro. That's how far back this goes. He took a muscle buster from Samoa Joe, and it disconnected his cervical vertebrae from the base of his skull. And fortunately, you didn't hear about this?
That sounds completely made up because that's instant death.
No.
There's not a chance. I'm calling bullshit.
Nope. I'm telling you right now.
Bullshit.
Nope, you're wrong. This is exactly what happened to him.
Right.
He was internally decapitated.
Tell me this again.
He was internally decapitated. Tyson Kidd, Natty Neidhart's husband. He was a wrestler for WWE. He tagged with Cesaro. He's an agent for a lot of the matches.
I know who he is. But that injury, wherever you read that, is bullshit.
Nope. He was internally decapitated, and they fused his vertebrae to his skull. It was touch and go. He didn't have feeling in his arms for a while. He finally got it all back, but he can never go back into the ring again. In fact, if he gets into a car accident and it's a little hinky, he could be paralyzed. That's how bad it was. Same thing.
I gotta look that up. I've heard that he broke his C2 and C5 and they had to fuse it. Yep, somebody else in the chat said the same thing. C2 and C1. He broke it, but he didn't fracture it from his skull because that's instant death. That's instant fucking death.
That's instant death if the spinal cord there is.
No. It's cut. Instant death if you fracture that from your skull.
All I know is when this whole thing went down years ago, the term internal decapitation was bandied about. And I had to go and look that up as to what that was. People have come back from it, like this kid did, Tyson Kidd, no pun intended. Big E almost had that same problem when he broke his neck.
It was an injury to the C1 and C2. It was not that.
Okay.
Looked it up just now. I just looked it up.
They
had to fuse them together.
BackAlleyWrestlingNews.com?
Nope, it's actually on medicalworld.com because it was a very risky search.
MondoMedicalWorld.com.
medicalworld.com.
I'm going to go look that up later on. I'll send you the article.
Mark K says Adam Cole should be changing my oil and Jiffy Lube. I agree.
He should be getting me an El Grande Americano at Starbucks in the morning. That's what he should be doing. He's horrible. Thanks for the 5-spot, Mark.
Appreciate it. But you are right. Like if he gets it, they're talking about it now. If he gets into a wreck, it can end his life. Like it was a bad break.
Oh yeah. She thought he was dead. So did Samoa Joe.
Yeah, that's scary.
I mean, Samoa Joe was really upset.
You know who else I thought was just awful and the match was dead was Brody King. I'm not watching anything with this guy ever again. I refuse to watch this, and I'm not going to review it because I don't care that. I don't like that piece of shit for some of his political stances. I don't care. I'm not saying anything about the cop hating. Like, I don't get along with all cops. Seriously, I don't. But I don't think every cop is out to get everybody. There's some pieces of shit out there, I agree. Some of the shit this guy said, fuck him. I'll just leave it at that. Yeah. I'm done with that guy. But after that, you got your showdown of the century. Mercedes Moné and Toni Storm.
And you have Mercedes Moné do what she shouldn't do, is talk.
Dude, it was bad. It was bad. It was bad. I'm just going to leave it at that. It was bad.
There was one bright spot for me, personally. When they, after they try to exchange, after Mercedes tried to waylay Toni and they got out of it, each other's moves, and Toni got Mercedes out of the ring, and she was standing at the base of the ramp. She was doing the stripper dance, and Toni Storm looked back at her and started doing the stripper dance, and then rolled around in the middle of the ring, like she usually.
I don't know what that was. What was that? I laughed at
that. She always does that. Rolls around in the middle of the ring with the belt. And I laugh my ass off every time she does it, so because it's so incongruous. But then when you see her try to do the stripper dance too before the whole thing, I just busted out laughing. It was funny. On my part, I thought it was funny.
This thing was bad. It went to shit.
Look,
I'm not saying that it wasn't funny.
In, Don.
This is supposed to be a serious moment, though, Bottles. This has been building for over a year, and then. It's like the Macho Man and Hogan coming to a head finally, or when the Warrior and Hogan finally were going to meet. That's a better example, actually.
Right.
The mid-card champion, the world champion. It's a serious moment.
And they both start tap dancing.
And we immediately got the Warrior blowjob moment with Hogan in the ring on the first thing we saw.
A blowjob.
Did you not remember the head shaking? Do you not remember Hogan and Warrior doing the test of strength and Hogan's got him down and it's the worst camera angle ever? It's right off to the side of Hogan and all you see is Warrior at his pelvis going, shaking his head.
No, I don't remember that.
I am sending to you this directly after the show. If anybody in the chat remembers, you will laugh. You'll remember it because it's the funniest looking shit ever.
Donna Solon did a lot of things in the 80s that I can't remember. So.
Cocaine's a powerful drug.
Say that.
Tony Montana was a real person.
That's back in the day. That's back in the day when you didn't have to worry about anything else being in your cocaine. You could just do it.
Oh, man. That concludes AEW. I don't want to talk about anything else with this show. It was a lot to get through tonight. Thank God. Next week is 4 hours. You're covering that one. You're on your own.
No. The first 2 hours, I'm watching the Dynamite portion of it and cutting it off. Although, if they were smart, and they're not smart. If they were smart, they would load up all their bigger stars that they got left on this show and have a huge main event at the end of the show. I would have a co-main events. I would have one at 10 and another one at 12. Or maybe
no, I would
not
have
12. You could have it at 12 because the show's going off the air. Have it at 11:30.
Can I
have one at 9:30? Have one at 11:30.
I like where you're going. I'd have one at 9:30 and one at 10:30. Because you're not keeping those people from 10 to 12.
They think they are. They think they are. They
think they are. Forever. Clap, 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 clap.
All 1,000 people chanting that at 11:45 p.m. next Wednesday night.
Yeah. I know one guy that would not. No. I know one guy that would never chant that.
Oh, it's not in his vocabulary.
Till next week, Gordon Soley saying so long from the Sunshine State.